before we get to the Notre Dame job, you were coaching Penn State last year. You got to the second round. You beat A&M, and then you lose to Texas. Talk about that experience from the players' side of it, getting into the tournament, and then what you thought going to the end with UConn taking out San Diego State.
Yeah, for us, it was, I was there 2 years, and it was quite a climb that's what we were hoping for, to have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. We had some really good guys that we had brought together that really fit our system. And we had a little bumpy road to get there, but we found our way at the end of the season. Played great in the Big Ten tournament. Had a really, really precise game for us against Texas A&M where we played great. And then, fell to a Texas team who I thought was one of the better teams in the country. The one of the guys, Disu, if he doesn't get injured, I think they have a chance to make a Final Four. But they lost to a really good Miami team. So the tournament is it's always full of surprises. It's always a matter of who gets hot, who's playing well, and that's what you saw from all of those teams: Miami, Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, and then obviously UConn was playing at a really high level, and they deserved to win the national championship.
So we want to ask you the important questions first. So Coach Marcus Freeman has been on the podcast before. He has a candy dish in his office with a lot of different types of candy. He has chocolates, he has Starbursts. Will you have any such thing in your office at Notre Dame?
You know what? I probably will. But it'll be just for me. It won't be for anybody that's coming in. Sorry, players. You guys gonna have to bring your own snacks in here. But Marcus Freeman is super fit. And that's probably why he has candy dish for everybody else. I'll have my own candy dish.
So what would be the go-to candy?
I'm a Reese's Pieces guy. Peanut M&Ms. There's actually in our little kitchen over here, there's some Starburst jelly beans, which
they're the best.
They are the best. Very addictive.
Yeah, the problem with them is when you get Reese's Pieces or the peanut butter M&Ms or, like you said, those Starbursts, is you can eat so many of them. It's like potato chips. You just keep slamming them, and then you're like, oh man, I ate way too much.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something you got to worry about. You got to think about. Then you're looking. It's like, all right, I got to refill this bowl because I ate every single piece of whatever it is that was in here.
So it's always interesting in looking at the where a coach has been in his career, and if you Wikipedia any coach, you see a number of stops along the way. And it's interesting, the other head coaching job you had was IU South Bend, yeah. right? South Bend, where Notre Dame is. So what was from that experience to where you are now, and what led you to Notre Dame? Yeah,
I talked about it in my press conference. We lived right around the corner from campus, my wife and I. So I used to make the drive every day down Ironwood and ride by campus, and I could see it, and I'd drive by or pop around and just kind of dream of what would happen or what this would be like. And I was 30 years old at the time, so I figured I had a lot of time left in my coaching career, hopefully, to one day do this. But as long as you kind of keep your head down, you keep working towards your goals, good things happen. So, I had an unbelievable experience here in those 2 years. But I ended up leaving because Brad Stevens got the job at Butler at the time as the head coach, and I went and joined his staff, and everything kind of took off from there. We went to the tournament 2 years in a row, and then the last 2 years we went to the national championship game. And, it kind of stinks that, as a bad reminder, that last night during the game they're talking about the lowest scoring halves in Final Four history. You just look up there and you see Butler, and it's like, it was great that we got there, and those guys, we have great memories, but we didn't play our best in that moment, but it was a part of life that helped propel me, so I could get an opportunity like this. I went from Butler to Purdue and worked with Coach Painter for a couple of years, and I went with Brad to the Boston Celtics, which was great for my career in learning, and then back to Purdue for a couple of years of, I guess, almost finishing school with Coach Painter again before I got the opportunity at Penn State. So there's been a lot that's happened since I was here last. I've grown a lot as a coach. My family's grown. We've added a lot more children since we've been here, but this is definitely a full circle moment to be here.
So you went from college to assistant at the pro level, back to college, kind of similar to Neil Ivey, who was an assistant with the Grizzlies before becoming the head coach for the Notre Dame women's team. So I interviewed her a few years back, and she said the biggest difference from pro to college is pro basketball is all ball. You don't have to worry about schoolwork. You don't have to worry about like extracurricular stuff that students have to do. So what are some of the things that have been the biggest difference for you going from the Celtics back to the college level, and how do you apply things you learned in the NBA back to like coaching your student athletes?
Yeah, I think what helped me was I was college coach before, so I didn't have much of an adjustment going there and then coming back, right? Like the time constraints are obviously a little bit different, on the college campus when the guys that you have to work with, they have class throughout the day. They have studying, homework, tests, whatever, once they finish practice. So you have to balance their time way better as a coach and understand that, basketball is really important, but, they also have, a really tough course load to work on here. They have social life that they're trying to manage as well. So understanding that and getting that in order is really important. And then, since I've come back, there's a lot of things that are different with the transfer portal, with NIL, with college basketball has really changed in the last few years. So just being able to adapt, I think the NBA has allowed or helped me adapt, right? Like you never know what's going to happen in those teams, in that program, right? There could be somebody on your team. My first year in Boston, we were trading guys that shoot around. So, a guy'd be there. We're like, hey, who's going to guard Kevin Durant? And it's like, well, we just traded him. So you guys change your game plan between shoot around and the game, and good luck tonight. So you got to think on your feet. You got to adjust on the fly. And I think that's helped with all the changes here in college basketball that's happening now.
You mentioned a couple of years at Penn State, and now you're at Notre Dame. How long did it take the sell job from the AD Jack Swarbrick until you agreed to this?
Yeah, I got a chance to meet with Jack and Father John and my wife and I both. And when you just talk to them and you feel how genuine they are, you feel the passion that they have for Notre Dame. That's something special. It's something special. And obviously being an Indiana kid, I've always known about Notre Dame. I've had classmates that have gone here. And, I grew up a huge Notre Dame football fan. So I knew all about the place. But the opportunity to come here and lead this was, there wasn't a lot of arm twisting that had to happen. I felt so, I almost had to pinch myself when they said, we want you to be the next head coach here. Because it really is a dream come true. And I know you could probably pull up any coach's press conference or interview or whatever, and everybody says it's a dream come true. But I'm an Indiana kid, and there's 3 major programs in this state, and I'm getting a chance to lead one of them. It doesn't get any better than that.
Is there another basketball program in the country that you think Notre Dame obviously has some things that they do differently than other schools when it comes to transferring and academics and everything like that? So is there another basketball program that you think you kind of look to as the model for Notre Dame basketball?
You know what? That's interesting. I think who we are and what we're going to be You could look maybe in league, and this may be like there's some differences with everything, but like maybe in league, maybe it's a school like Virginia or a program like Virginia, like they're a value-based program. Who they bring in, I'm sure they have academic challenges as well, but kind of in the ACC as I look around it, that could be a team or a program that you kind of model. Now, we're obviously play different ways, we play different styles, but I think as a value-based organization and what Coach Bennett has been able to do there, I can see some similarities from school to school.
It's also interesting, when you talk about a football program, a basketball program, what's it more at a certain school. I think we all have to realize Notre Dame is a fencing school with 12 national
100%.
championships. So
Yes.
that's the sport there right now. That's what you have to try and overtake. I'm wondering, and if you've moved into it yet, Mike Bray has been there for, I think, 52 years. Did he leave anything behind in his office that you found that you had to return to him?
I have not. I think they did a really good job of grabbing everything that he had. But I'm sure there's something somewhere that I'll find one day that he's probably tucked away somewhere. Like, hey, Coach, I knew you would get to this at some point in time. And some kind of note there. I've had a chance to talk to Coach, and he's the best. He's great. What he's done here, the success that he's had, how he's built it, his relationship with his guys, he's leaving a great legacy for me to follow in. But he's also leaving a great blueprint of how you can do it here, how you can have success here. So I'm going to definitely pick his brain and figure out some things and see if he can help me. But, yeah, maybe in February there's going to be some note under the couch that he's left for me, like some kind of omen.
So you've lived in South Bend before, so you're familiar, but it's been a while. Do you have like a favorite restaurant you're excited to go back to, or favorite part of town that you're, feel like you've been missing?
Well, here's the crazy thing, and I'm as basic as possible. Like my personality is when I find what I like I'll go to the same restaurant every day and just order the same thing. But like I get really excited about the simple things in life. So I went to the Final Four this past weekend, and I got back, and it was a little bit later when I landed, and I was going to grab some food as I was heading back to the hotel, and I just got really excited to see Steak and Shake. Like,
That's a great answer.
I pulled right
institution.
I pulled right into the drive-through, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get this Frisco melt, and I'm gonna get myself a milkshake."
What kind of milkshake?
Chocolate, just simple chocolate.
Just plain chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But those are the little things that I miss. There's no like anything special or things like that. It's something like that. Now I will. I did as I'm driving through different areas. Like I saw Barnaby's the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Barnaby's." I'm still remembering some things. It'll come back. The one thing I was a little disappointed, and I don't even know if it was good. I just remember going there a few times. Was Between the Buns is now closed, so
What?
It's just a different name. No, it's a different name.
What is it
Yeah.
called?
Yeah. I forgot. I should know. My
Mike.
place is right next to it, but
Yeah.
it's still there. It's just called something else. But I used to go there all the time. I'm with you. One thing I'd like to share with you, Coach, at some point we could do a backer burger and a beer over at the Linebacker. I can't believe it took Mike Bray 22 years to get to that place.
Was
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah.
absolutely, and it was nuts when he was there. Let's ending at least from my side on this. Whenever I would call a game and talk to a coach, especially if it's a coach I hadn't done a game with before, I always like to ask them, and I'm sure you've answered this 100 times. What's your philosophy of a team? What are we going to get out of your teams?
Yeah, I am. There are like, I've I guess developed this reputation here in the last 2 years as an offensive coach. But at my heart and at my core, I'm a defensive guy. Like, I'm a stickler for rules on that side and how we're going to guard and what we're going to do. And, our teams have played with incredible toughness and grit and fight. That's going to be a staple. That's going to be a staple of who we are, and how we play. Because I think it gives you a chance to win every single night. Whether the ball's going in or not, if you're guarding people, that's going to give you a chance. Offensively, it's tailored more around your guys, like who you have. Like, I'm being in the NBA has given me a chance to. There's not a system that I'm like stuck in, right? I can be flexible and build something around our best players. So we play a 5-out style. We move the ball, like we share the ball. We'll shoot a bunch of threes. Be a low turnover team. We were, for the longest time this year, we were number 1 in the country in fewest turnovers. And I think Notre Dame ended up taking it over late in the year and passing us. But playing very, very fundamental basketball, having high IQ guys that can read the game, think the game. We play an NBA kind of system where we, we'll hunt some matchups. Like, we play a lot of movement where we're cutting, we're playing off pick and rolls, we're doing things, but we'll also, hunt matchups and find guys that, can't guard, that, we're going to attack and force people to help and rotate, or we're just going to go score on that guy. So we're going to play a lot of different, styles offensively and try and be creative and base that around our best players. And hopefully that makes us a really tough team to guard and prepare for.
You were in the Big Ten for the last couple of years. You've coached at Butler, so you've coached at a lot of different colleges. But is there any one particular school in the ACC schedule that you're particularly excited to play against now as the head coach at Notre Dame?
I've actually never been. There's a lot of the schools in the ACC I've never been to. I've never been inside of or coached in a lot of these arenas. Like, we played Clemson this past year in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. But throughout my time, even at Purdue, we were probably home twice and on the road once during those times there. So I've been to North Carolina. Never coached a game, but I've been inside. I've never been to Duke. Never walked inside the place. So
wow,
that would be cool. Like to go in there
and
bring our team in there, but really all of them. It's just going to be fun. It's just going to be fun to challenge yourself and go against good coaches and take our team in there. I'm probably pretty sure that every school feels like they hate us, and man, we hate Notre Dame. Like, we can't wait to beat them. So I love that part of it.
If you know that already, you'll fit in great.
I love being the hated. I love being the underdog. So I'm going to wear this ND around with pride as we're walking into some of these arenas.
Well, if you love that part of it, be prepared for a lot of love, because there's a lot of hate to Notre Dame that people are going to get after you for. Coach, we really look forward to the start of your tenure at Notre Dame. We look forward to the Reese's Pieces in your office and maybe a burger and a beer somewhere as well. Yeah. But congrats on the job there, kind of coming home a bit to South Bend, and we do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.